Sexual harassment is unwelcome sexual conduct of any kind. This can be verbal, physical, or a variety of other inappropriate behaviours. Sexual harassment can occur face-to-face, on a phone call, or via email. It covers a wide spectrum of behaviour, including everything from seemingly innocuous comments or jokes and the use of sexual innuendo, all the way through to attempted or actual sexual assault. Something might seem like a funny joke or an inconsequential comment to you, but to someone else, it could be offensive, degrading, or just plain unwelcome. Whistling, catcalling, spreading rumours and lies about a person's private life, or even turning work discussions into one of a sexual nature can be viewed as sexual harassment. Not all sexual harassment is aggressive or violent. Physical sexual harassment can include touching, hugging, kissing, patting, massaging, and even facial expressions, such as licking one's lips suggestively or sexual hand gestures. Sexual harassment may take other forms as well: the creation of an intimidating or offensive working environment, or requests for sexual favours, with the implication being that someone will benefit professionally as a result. It's not just people in positions of authority who can sexually harass others. Any employee can behave in this inappropriate manner towards any other employee. Similarly, sexual harassment does not always involve a male intimidating a female. It can be the other way around or involve two members of the same sex. Of course, some behaviours are not considered harassment if they arise from a relationship of mutual consent. A hug between friends or an appropriate compliment about someone's new outfit made between colleagues in a respectful way are examples of behaviour that is not harassment. If you're not 100% sure whether your action is appropriate, make sure to err on the side of caution and refrain from the behaviour. Just because you think that your behaviour is welcomed doesn't mean it actually is. Make sure to treat everybody with respect and sensitivity. That way, you'll never go wrong. Bullying is harmful. It can make a person feel less confident in their work and in themselves, lowering their sense of self-worth and esteem. Bullying can also lead to depression and, in worst cases, suicide. No one deserves to be bullied, but bullying can also have an impact that might be harder to spot. Bullied employees might show signs of stress, anxiety, or fear. Even physical attendance at work can be affected. Physical symptoms like headaches and sleeping difficulties could be a result of bullying. That's why we all have a moral duty to ensure that bullying behaviour is considered unacceptable and stopped. In addition to having a negative impact on the individual being bullied, it can also deteriorate the overall morale of an organisation. Bullying, allowed to continue unchecked, will cause a poor organisational culture to develop. It must be made clear that bullying behaviour will not be tolerated from anyone, including those in positions of authority, and this commitment to stamping out bullying must, of course, be enforced. So what should you do if you think you or a co-worker is being bullied? Report it to the appropriate person in your organisation and encourage the bullied individual to do the same. Refer to your organisation's code of conduct, policies and procedures for further, more specific guidance. Cash handling in the workplace can pose a hazard, both from a health perspective and a safety perspective. When handling cash, you should always wear gloves. Cash can carry germs, which can cause infection and disease. It's vital to understand that you should change or remove your gloves after handling money and before doing any other task. If gloves are unavailable, you must thoroughly wash your hands immediately after handling cash. For further details on how to correctly wear gloves and wash your hands, please refer to our COVID-19 safety video lessons. In a workplace where cash is handled, there is an increased risk of robbery or attack. Your organisation should have procedures for cash handling and what to do in the event of a robbery or attack, and it's important you familiarise yourself with these procedures and follow them. Ways to reduce risk include removing excess cash from the till to safe storage and displaying clearly visible signs indicating that limited cash is held on the premises. Cash should be removed from the premises and deposited at the bank on a regular basis. It's also important that significant amounts of cash are not handled in front of customers. Any counting of cash should happen in an area out of view of customers. If cash is kept on the premises, you should be aware of opening and closing procedures and follow them properly. Be aware of suspicious people or vehicles around when you enter or leave the workplace. Look for signs of a break-in before you enter the premises, and before leaving, ensure that all entries, exits and windows are securely locked. You should also ensure no unauthorised persons remain on the premises. If possible, you should encourage customers to move to paying via cashless transactions, as this will greatly reduce the risks associated with cash handling. In this module, we'll talk about your health at work. You spend a big part of your life at your workplace, so building healthy work habits is an efficient way to boost your overall health. Not only that, a healthy workplace also improves productivity and reduces absenteeism. It doesn't matter if you work in retail, in an office, in hospitality, or in an altogether different setting. It's always important to take responsibility for your own health. After all, what good is it building a rewarding career if you're not in good health to enjoy it? Working towards being healthy at your workplace may seem like an abstract task, but by implementing some of the simple strategies presented in this module, you'll begin to feel the benefits in no time. A great start is to team up with your co-workers to keep each other accountable. Together, you can take some big steps towards being healthier at work. And as a team, it's easier to keep that motivation high. And remember, it's never too late to get started. The COVID-19 virus is a coronavirus that causes respiratory infections. It affects all people of all ages, genders, and ethnic backgrounds. It can be dangerous for any person. COVID-19 can be spread from person to person via droplets in the air. These droplets can be spread by simply talking, coughing, or sneezing. They can infect another person by entering another person's eyes or mouth, either directly or by that person touching a contaminated surface and then touching their mouth or face. Common symptoms of COVID-19 may include sore throat, fever, cough, runny nose, tiredness, or shortness of breath. However, some people may be infected with COVID-19 and display no symptoms. This is called being asymptomatic. People who are not displaying any symptoms can still be infected with COVID-19 and can still spread the virus. Whilst some people may not show any symptoms, others may show mild symptoms, and others may develop severe symptoms and become very sick very quickly. Evidence shows that elderly people and those with pre-existing medical conditions are at higher risk of developing severe symptoms of COVID-19. Practicing good hygiene is the best defense against COVID-19 and against most other viruses. If you experience symptoms, you should report immediately to your employer and seek medical advice.
Have you ever noticed how small bites of food taste better? Think about it. Party pies, mini quiches, cocktail franks, the list goes on. There's just something about smaller that tastes better. And the same goes for how we learn. Microlearning offers short, bite-sized lessons that have a specific focus on just one topic at a time, making them far easier to digest. If you're in a busy work environment, the last thing you want is your team spending valuable business hours stuck in a boring training course, especially when they only retain a tiny fraction of the information presented. Microlearning allows your team to learn, process, and apply new information in just a few minutes at a time. But people forget information quickly, and that's why repetition of learning is vital. Microlearning makes repetition much more palatable, with learners able to take in short bursts of information at a time. Want your team to learn how to handle difficult customers? Then focus on that alone. Get them to watch short video lessons on the same topic over the course of a week or a month, and watch their understanding, retention, and performance improvement grow. It means less wasted training time, more time putting skills into practice, and more time impressing customers. Decreased downtime and increased productivity? Sounds like a win-win. One of the beauties of microlearning is how it mimics the way modern learners behave in their day-to-day lives. Thanks to smartphones and social media, most employees today are conditioned to watch short videos online. Microlearning is aligned with this pattern of behaviour, making your team far more receptive to this type of training. In fact, 8 out of 10 learners prefer microlearning over traditional methods, with a 50% increase in engagement in shorter training compared to longer courses. Unlike traditional training courses that are bulked up for the sake of taking up valuable time, microlearning is training that's focused on the outcome. Microlearning keeps things short, sweet, and to the point, so you'll have plenty of room for dessert.